Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this lecture. We'll be in the later classes. We were studying about menthol, its extraction and isolation. And moving ahead with this topic, we'll be discussing about the isolation methods and uh, and how the different method differs from each other. And finally, we'll be ending this topic with the uses and economical importance. So let us start. And this I'm sliding the slide just to make you aware of the topic. We have studied this all and method of extraction, steam distillation, microwave extraction, and we were discussing about the method of isolation of menthol. And then this we have already discussed about fractional distillation. Starting with the fractional distillation. Fractional distillation, ordinarily it is 60% to 85% of methanol with 12% to 20% methone in present in mentha species, mentha arvensis, essential oil. But there is a drawback of presence of these two compounds which are separated from the oil by evaporation during using a vaporizer. So they are a little bit different when you isolate it by using fractional distillation because it contains some compound which are very it cannot be separated that easily. And in case of fractional distillation, when we start separating the samples at different temperatures using the rotor operators, we find a little difficulty of extracting isolating the compound. When a mixture of two solvent ethanol and hexane was used, using these two components, the yield of extract components such as methanol is raised up. When you use these two ethanol and hexane, so you can easily can separate out menthol and methone and menthofuran. This is what is fractional distillation. A separation liquid mixture into fractions differing in boiling point, hence a chemical composition by means of distillation, typically using a fractionating column. This is called fractional distillation. You can see in the pic, this is how fractional distillation assembly has set up. So you need to take a round bottle flask containing the extract, and this is your fractionating column. And above this, you have to put a thermometer to measure the temperature. At what temperature is because at different boiling point, different temperature, samples are going to be separate out. And this is where you can get the condense side tube, and side tube is connected with a condenser. This is a water inlet and water outlet, and the vapors which get separated out at different points will be condensing here, and you can collect the sample. This is fractional distillation. Fractional distillation, in case of menthol extract, you can see the type of requirement, condition, pressure, reflex ratio, temperature, melting point at one is digestion process, melting point second digestion process. So this is what you are supposed to make do or assure when you go for fractional distillation. Pressure about 20 mm, reflex ratio 50, and temperature about 23 degrees Celsius. At this condition, you will get 89% of menthol. And if you rise it above the 30 to 40 degree point, 45, 40 to 40 to 50 degrees Celsius, you're going to get 88% of menthol, and more about this, 41.6 to 47, 42.7, you'll get 92% of methanol. So this is how you're supposed to do fractional distillation of extracted menthol. Another method we have already discussed. We talked about chromatography. So another method we go for isolation of menthol is chromatography. When you go for chromatography, there are two specific chromatography which we go for. Isolation method is like gas chromatography and mass spectroscopy. Apart from this, you can go for TLC and paper as well, and you can perform this practical and lab level. But when we talk about the large amount of isolation, then the method we opt for is gas chromatography and mass spectroscopy. Analysis for essential oil sample preparation using selective detector and quadrupole. Um, EI mass analyzer and columns which are coated with methyl silicone, and the thickness should be maintained about 30 m to 0.25 mm thickness of the column, and which is used as stationary phase. Helium as a used as a mobile phase, which should be of 0.8 milliliter per minute flow rate. The temperature should be about 60 degrees Celsius to 280 degrees Celsius at 4 degrees Celsius minimum ramp rate. The injector and at the GSC and MS interface temperature maintained should be at 290 degrees Celsius and 300 degrees Celsius respectively. And after this, mass spectra recorded, and mass range from 50 to 550, and the ion sources detector use detector temperatures are used in gas chromatography, which should be about 250 degrees Celsius to 150 degrees Celsius respectively. So these are the conditions which we have to follow for gas chromatography and mass spectroscopy when you go for isolation of uh, extracted menthol extract when using gas chromatography mass spectroscopy. The temperature, the stationary phase, and mobile phase has to be very much fixed. That what are you supposed to use. The chromatographic analysis, the yield and the boiling point, melting point conditions जो आपको maintain करना है, जो आपको extract आएगी उसके हिसाब से आपको जो मिलता है 95.5% by this method you can isolate from your menthol. Now, coming to the end of this topic, the uses and economic importance. As we all know, menthol essential oil and has a number of medicinal applications due to its antioxidant, antimicrobial, anti-cancer, anti-inflammatory properties. Mentha is monetarily vital because of great source of menthol. Okay, it has a great source of menthol. Monetarily है because बहुत अच्छा source है. And oil from mentha contains 70% of methanol, which is utilized for various purposes. Menthol has numerous curative cause uses. For example, menthol is usually added to drops of curing cough and other medications of cough to help calm sore throat, hack, and mouth throat aggravations. Okay, so we use menthol and curing cough and other cough preparations. Numerous menthol cream exist are used to massage directly on the skin to help soothe muscle throb, spasm, sprain, skin aggravation, and migraines. Okay, बहुत सारे न्यूमरस मेंथॉल के ऐसे क्रीम्स है ऐसे प्रिपरेशन है जो डायरेक्टली स्किन के ऊपर मसाज करने के लिए यूज की जाती है स्प्रेन के लिए स्पाज्म के लिए स्किल एग्रीवेशन है उसके लिए है ना उसके अलावा डेंटल यूज में भी यूज किया जाता है मेंथॉल का टूथपेस्ट में फ्लोर पिक्स में एंड माउथ वॉशेस में कंटेन मेंथॉल टू हेल्प स्क्रब रिफ्रेश द माउथ एंड अवॉइड ऑफुल ब्रेथ it is a scent fixing utilized in decorative cosmetic scent fixing का काम करता है decorative cosmetic में fine aroma shampoos different toiletries and furthermore in family unit items in vibrating creams or moisturizers menthol as a dynamic constant have been utilized in considerable length of time as customary medicines for various including
हाँ
um, contaminations है ना बहुत सारे प्रोडक्ट में मेंथॉल को एज अ सोर्स ऑफ बहुत अच्छी स्मेल और रिफ्रेशिंग स्मेल के लिए यूज किया जाता है ना कस्टमरी मेडिसिन में भी कई बार में इसको यूज किया जाता है बहुत सारे इलनेस के लिए ट्रीट करने के लिए और मेंथॉल अल्कोहल बहुत अच्छा यूज है वो है इसका स्लीप डिप्राइवेशन के लिए भी यूज किया जाता है या पीविश इनसाइड डिसऑर्डर सच एज क्रीपी क्रॉलिंग रेपेलेंट ऐसे जो disorders उनके लिए यूज किया जाता है menthol is also added to tropical and fluid definitions for its proposed antibacterial antifungal property है ना ये ऐसे बहुत सारे ट्रॉपिकल फ्लूइड प्रिपरेशंस रहते हैं जिनके ऊपर सिर्फ इसकी बिकॉज हम स्मेल करके ही हम उसकी क्वालिटी को बता सकते हैं इसलिए भी बहुत आउटस्टैंडिंग हमें एक प्रिपरेशन मिल जाता है जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ इट कंटेन्स मेंथॉल स्मेल तो वो एक इम्पैक्ट देता है कि डेफिनेटली द प्रोडक्ट विल बी एंटीबैक्टीरियल एंटीफंगल and it's individually pharmacological active for example it has very cooling impact okay gastry and olfactory upgrades के लिए बहुत यूज किया था बहुत अच्छा कूलिंग इम्पैक्ट है जो भी गैस्ट्रिक गैस्ट्री अपसेट होता है ना उसके लिए भी यूज किया जाता है और ऑल्फैक्टरी अपग्रेड्स ऑल्फैक्टरी इज ऑल अबाउट स्मेल तो उस केस में भी हम बहुत सारे ऐसे प्रिपरेशन यूज करते हैं जो हम सिर्फ और सिर्फ नेजल स्प्रे या इसके लिए यूज किया जाता है ओके so this was all about mentha and thank you for joining this for today's lecture Okay.